What's up, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through do not resonate for you, that's totally fine. Please push them aside and assume they're going out to someone else who needs to hear them or see them. It might just resonate for you at a later time or date. Do keep in mind you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. That being said, let's try and have some fun, get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages. Let's do it for Taurus. So you already had cards falling out. I'm wondering if this is a separate message that needs to be relayed or if I can work this into my little spread that I'm doing. I already feel like I'm off my off my path here. This kind of threw me for a loop, but that's good. That's good. It keeps me on my toes, right? Here we go. So I would maybe read this as past and then the impacts of them. Page of Wands, I feel like to me there's like a longing here. It's like trying to call back your sweetheart or trying to call something back into your life. Some of you may be trying to do manifestations to reinvigorate something or to draw it back into your life. With Page of Wands, I do sort of get the idea that it's for a lot of you it's probably romantic, but it doesn't have to be. It could be that some of you parted ways with a job or with a friend, and there's just kind of like this heavier energy that's sort of setting in of, ooh, did I make the right decision? So right off the bat, before I even look at these, you already have a card of reunions. So Taurus, let's just let's not keep you in suspense any longer. I think you're gonna get your wish here. Some of you may be doing like manifestations, candle work, crystal work, some sort of kind of like, I don't want to say witchy, but more or less some type of spiritual work to bring something back into your life, hopefully in a very healthy, positive way, right? That's obviously up to you. I would highly recommend that though, right? And then you have the Hangman and the Two of Cups. So yeah, I feel like, ooh, like there's a heaviness to this Hangman. It feels like distraught about, again, Two of Cups, very likely I'm going to say a connection of some kind. I mean, again, for most of you, I think it's romantic. But this looks very, it could be amicable. It could be friendship, a falling out, a disconnect with a friend. I think there's a period where you guys need to separate in order to focus on your own stuff. Not that that's a great word, but, to focus on you, some soul healing, some soul growth. I think it's both of recognizing where maybe you gave too much and we're doing all the work, or the opposite, maybe where you were a little bit too hell-bent or a little bit too stubborn or stuck in your ways, stuck in your head about, I'm not giving on this because of X, Y, and Z. But then I think in time, there's like a reflection of being able to see things from the other person's perspective. And I don't think either person is right or wrong. I don't think anyone is the hero or the enemy. I think there was a mutual, we both could have done better. I think you both are thinking about this and reflecting back and being like, in a good way, like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Like if I had it to do over again, I would definitely do this instead, or I would be more forthright, forthcoming. I would be more honest about this, or I would be more transparent about that, or I would admit that I didn't know when they asked me that question rather than making something up and dismissing it, or whatever. This is its own message, but like this says reunion is coming to you, so like don't sweat it, boo. It's all good. I would say though, make the most of your time away from each other. I would say focus on your own healing, because essentially when you raise your vibration, right, when you kind of wander down that path of spirituality and start to allow things to sort of transform and change in your life, in your soul, in your body, in your emotions, whatever, that acts as a magnet for what's going to be shown back to you. So I think you guys are both raising your vibe. I think you guys are both working on yourself, in which case if you come back together, are you going to be able to look at it as a clean slate? I think that's an important question to contemplate, because if you both are trying to reconnect and do this right, I think there needs to be easy forgiveness and moving under the assumption that this person is in the process of changing their ways, because you are too. But yeah, I always use this expression. It's like, instead of guilty until proven innocent, in a relationship, you kind of have to lean into the innocent until proven guilty, right? And a lot of times that's hard because people bring their own narratives back from the past of people who didn't treat us well and people who disrespected us or disobeyed our trust and that sort of thing. So I do think if you are both able to come into this, hit reset, clean slate, there's no reason why you couldn't revisit this and try and make it more. Cool. I love that for you, Taurus. And again, same energy goes for a reunion with with friends or coworkers, or maybe you're going to revisit a job that you decided to leave and maybe you regret it. I don't know, something like that. But again, know that the delay and the period of, I don't know if it's isolation or solitude, it's a very necessary step in this process. So don't just skim over it and get like impatient of like, okay, I just want to get to the end goal, because there's something of value to be in like hangman mode in the delay part. All right, here we go. New message for Taurus. New message for Taurus, or whatever we need to relay to them, what's important. Coming up in the past, what's going on in the past for Taurus. The past. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God, so much. Hierophant, 3 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, okay? So Hierophant is you feeling like you got stabbed in the back, or feeling like somebody did you dirty. Okay, so some of you found out that your person was not single, but more than that, they had like a whole family or a whole wife or a husband, or they had a whole other separate life too. If it doesn't have to do with infidelity, it's like they weren't... Again, I'm hearing the word forthright, which is not a word in my vocabulary, so I hope I'm using that correctly. Forthcoming, forthright. They were not open and honest about certain aspects or parts of their life. I'm hearing Scorpio. Some of you may have had a Scorpio who was keeping secrets from you. So presently, how is that affecting you? Interesting. This is a very strong card. Hold on, I want to pull a few more on this. Of course, it's a similar message. Why wouldn't it be? Thanks once. All right. So hold on. Let me just see this whole vision here, and then I'll explain to you what it all means. Yeah, this person's coming back. All right, so in fact, let's hold off on that. All right, so this is how I read this, guys. This is just my own kind of spread that I probably picked it up somewhere. I'm not taking credit for it, but I read this as past, present, qualities you're going to need to get through the situation, what supports you, and what we know about the situation. So flat out, what we already know is Knight of Cups. So there is emotion here. There is a movement and forward motion of emotion. Did I just say that? That was a mouthful. Here's the thing, though, because of just the way the cards are happening. Again, you have 3 of Cups, reunion energy. There is, and even like the direction the Knight is pointing, the Knight of Cups, again, it's water, so it's very focused on the past, like the nostalgia, the sentimentality. Something or someone is bringing new energy back to this, because there is love and there is emotion there. Is it high vibe? I don't know. I can't really determine that yet. So if it didn't have to do with someone who had a secret life or was married, though for some of you, you know that's your story. I don't think that would be hidden for most of you. It could also be that you connected with someone who you talked about marriage, you talked about the future, you have the vision of having this be your long-term person, and then something happened where it completely went the other way. It flip-flopped, and then it was like heartbreaking, because it's almost like you had sort of started to build your world and your life around this person, and they kind of pulled the carpet out from underneath you, or something of the sort. Something else could have happened in their life that they didn't necessarily plan or anticipate, but it very much impacted them in a way that also kind of spilled over into your guys' relationship. And so they had to either say goodbye or call it quits, or have a very heavy conversation with you that really impacted and changed how you were going to go about this relationship. So I don't necessarily know if you're still with this person, if you're kind of in that energy of like, well, something broke and now we have to fix it, but we're both kind of, doe-eyed in terms of like we don't know what to do here. Like we're both kind of equally. There could have been a layoff from a job, but it would have been a very important source of income that really changed the game. This person could have been through a terrible loss of their own in terms of like losing a family member unexpectedly. And I don't predict that, right? Because this is in the past anyway, but this is informing me on sort of how we're getting to this energy. Something major happened in a relationship that, again, you had stars in your eyes for this person. You saw them as your long-term person. Something about that got really messed up. And here's the thing, the more I look at this, I'm not even sure they're at fault per se. It's like, again, this idea of something very unexpected maybe came into their life. It could even be an ex. came back into their life with like, hey, I'm pregnant news, and like they had already, they were already not in each other's life. There could have been something very unusual about the circumstances that really put a wedge in your guys' ability to just be like, happy romance, the world is our oyster. There was like, oh, this is like a really big problem. And for some of you, you weren't able to solve it together. So sort of the easiest solution was to sever off, to go different ways and kind of see what played out in the future. So what supports you is a Knight of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. So I do think your soul tribe is coming through for you, your friends, your family. If you did, and the thing is, I think you did share what happened, because the impacts of it were either so large and heartbreaking or just so unexpected. I don't think you were necessarily tight-lipped on what happened for most of you. So it seemed like your friends were very much there to like help you heal through this difficult transition. And again, a very, very select few of you, it could have been like a person that you lost in your own life. I'm just putting that out there. Again, past. I don't do fear-based readings. This is not about freaking you out. That's not my ethic or moral code here. So I just want to reiterate, this is past stuff. What's supporting you is friendships and people helping you get grounded, people bringing you back to sort of practicality, groundedness, very earthy energy. But there is a mourning. It's almost like these are, and I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable, but you have people in your life who they allow you to express emotions, but they allow you to grieve. Fully grieve, like emotional, heavy tears. But I think it's cathartic. I think it's needed. I think there's a Virgo in your life who has been particularly significant in holding space for you, allowing you to say the things you need to say, not holding anything against you if you're having a bad day, like whether you're angry or sad or distraught or pissed off or whatever it is. This person understands that you're going through a lot, and they're like, it's okay, no problem, just let me know what you need. This person is tending to your needs, but I'm not necessarily certain it's romantic. For some of you, it could be, though. Again, I don't think that's the major storyline here, but if you feel like you're going at this alone and grieving privately, I almost think your advice or guidance is to actually make it a more, this is like weird to say, but more like inclusive. And the reason being, there's something to be gained by you grieving amongst a support group of some kind. Some of you may literally be in like a grief group or a support group, or even if it's something online, joining some community of, parents who lost their kids to alcoholism or drugs, or, it's something like that. It's something very heavy. And something about this group, you are making strides and progress to get yourself back to where you need to be. So then presently you have Six of Wands. So yeah, this is an unusual energy, and I'm not totally sure what to do with it. I'm just going to be transparent. But it is a card of getting your confidence back, feeling like people are looking at you, feeling like eyes are on you. And maybe that's because what you went through is so kind of incredible that people are kind of in awe of you and inspired by your ability to bounce back. Even though it doesn't feel like that on every day, I think there's a lot of people looking at you of like, wow, Taurus is like damn, like they're doing it. Yeah, again, even on the hard days. And you might not feel like this, but I almost think that's how other people see you. They see you as a source of inspiration and like a guiding light. There is something about mutual shared stories, shared energy of being there for each other. And that exchange of energy of like, we're going through the same thing. So there's like an instant understanding. There's like even an unspoken connection. So this is a very strong card of Leo, lion energy. It has a lot to do with your soul purpose. It has a lot to do with your, hero's journey, quote unquote, like the sun energy. Yeah, I think it's getting your health back. Yeah, and like, I know a lot of you might not be feeling this, but there's like a huge ability to bounce back and to overcome and have the higher ground. And maybe you're still working to do that. A lot of you are putting a lot more focus on your body and your wellness, your health. I see you guys like exercising a lot more, being in nature, going to the gym, whatever it is for you. It's almost like there's a cathartic, I need to sweat it out. I need to cry it out. I need to, rather than turning to substances and drugs and alcohol or things that numb you, there's almost like this raw, like I'm going to feel it. And it's so funny. I'm seeing a scene in a movie. I'm going to feel it. And it's going to be this like cathartic thing that I release. That feels very like Taurus, Scorpio type stuff, like the body and the extreme releases. I'm just going to share it because I think there's something here, but I can't quite grasp it. I'm seeing the movie Midsummer, right, which is an intense movie. If you're going through a lot, I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching it. Unless you're going through a breakup, it will blow your mind. It's such a great breakup movie, but also in like kind of this perverse, cathartic, I don't know, like, admittedly, I love that movie, but if you're dealing with, like, heavy, like, death stuff, I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching it. But anyway, there's this scene where this is no spoilers, but she ends up joining this, like, community in, like, the Netherlands or something like that, wherever Midsummer is. And she's grieving herself. I think she maybe lost her parents. Again, you find that out very early on. And there's a scene where she's just like screaming and crying, trying to like release this pent up emotion. And all these women circle around her and they're like touching her shoulder, her arm. And all of a sudden they start doing it too. And that's what I mean. It's like there's this not mob mentality, but like power in numbers. It's almost like they're absorbing her grief and letting it out through their own body, through their own channel. It's like, it's pretty profound, especially in terms of this reading. So heal together, heal among people, heal in numbers. There's something extremely important about that for you, Taurus. And again, by this point, if you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, this isn't your reading. I'm not predicting something that isn't already in your life. So just, I'm glad you're showing up for the reading, but if you don't get this, it's not your story. So, check in next time. I say that with compassion, but I don't want you to freak out that something bad is going to happen, because again, that's not what I do here. So anyway, Six of Wands. Yeah, you're a leader of sorts, whether you know it or not. And this, I hate to make it icky or tacky. I'm not saying you're going to go into some profession about grieving counseling because of this. For some of you, that's already happened. For some of you, you already went through something extreme in your childhood, and now you are helping, like-minded individuals navigate grief. Because you're a fortress, Taurus, right? You're strong, you're the rock, you're the brick wall. You're a rock in other people's lives. Like you are steady, you are consistent, you are a support system. People can lean on you during times of grief or trouble. And you are showing up as that. So for some of you, maybe this is something external to you, but damn, you're showing up really powerful in your life. So in terms of qualities you need to get through the situation, you need to have patience. Your ships are coming in. For some of you, I'm just getting this idea of everybody, I'm hearing sort of like everybody else's wishes come true except mine. Like I've been working on manifesting something for weeks, days, months, years, whatever. And I think there's a growing impatience. The tides are turning. You're being asked to be patient. And also for some of you, a new path or a new road is about to present itself. So it was almost like the energy of manifesting whatever it is that you want, or possibly trying to get back in your life, that in itself was a lesson for you to really take stock of the why. Why do you want this thing? Why do you want this person? Why do you want this job? What is it going to bring to you? How is it going to benefit you? Where are you self-sabotaging? Where are you setting the bar too low, too high, blah, 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 blah. There was a lot of reflection being put on the next steps. And so the next steps leads to the Four of Wands. It's the 11-11. It's the divine timing. It's Venus and Aries. So there's connection is on its way for you in multiple aspects. New opportunities to network, to build groups, to build communities, to build friendships, to build relationships. I get it. Some of you very much want a relationship back, or you're trying to manifest a new relationship, having lost what felt like the love of your life, something like that. But you are being asked to be very patient. And again, there's a sun focus here of identify with you right now. I think you need to go within and tend to your own needs, because I gave you this reading last time, right? It's like you're very apt to focus on the needs of others, but almost as a way, it's like deflection of what you're going through, because sometimes it's too heavy for you to deal with. So it's easier to focus your mind on other people's problems. And I think the universe is saying it's actually a really good time to focus on you and build your own inner strength and willpower. And I'm hearing release long-held beliefs, almost like release the shadow, the inner demon that is keeping you stuck, but in a way where it's draining your battery. There is a need to shine light on your own shadow and to love it, right? To work through it. It's not resisting it or denying it. It's opening yourself up to seeing it and listening to it, hearing what it has to say, so that you can kind of come to some sort of greater or deeper understanding about yourself and your path. Yeah, boom, Wheel of Fortune. Great things are coming to you. Blessings are coming to you. I'm seeing Aries. Virgo and Scorpio are particularly standing out. Oh, and Sagittarius. It's funny, I looked at Sagittarius and said Aries, but anyway, something about that. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune says things are changing, the wheel is turning for the better, right? The one thing you can depend upon in life is change, right? Change is constant. It's always happening. For you, it's like you're desperately hoping for change. It's like you're just wanting to speed up the process. And I think the universe is saying, breathe, just breathe. It's all happening in divine timing. So have faith, trust. If anyone can be patient, it's you, Taurus. I think you're one of the most patient signs. Like, you don't get rattled easily. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So what's known? Knight of Cups. I think you're on a healing journey too. Yeah, you do have a I'm going to be honest, for 99% of you, there is a romantic prospect coming back, maybe. I'm inclined to say that, but I also don't want to set you up for disappointment. So I think you kind of have to take stock of your scenario and ask, is this something you really want back? But the first message we got is that you were trying to manifest something back from the past. So Knight of Cups, King of Pentacles, both very much like earthy, watery energy, history, legacy, roots, the past, nostalgia, sentimental. Like, this could very much be someone from your past showing up, but maybe they're showing up as a king this time and not just a knight. Maybe. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, maybe Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Probably someone who has a lot of water and earth in their chart. So what is unknown at this point? What is unknown to Taurus? Something that is hidden, something in the depths, something that maybe it's like an intuitive feeling, but it hasn't materialized yet, or there's no physical evidence of it. What is hidden? What is hidden to them right now? The Two of Swords. Okay, so yeah, you don't see this coming, or you're not aware of it coming, which makes me question if the person coming back, again, I'm not trying to disappoint anyone, but I'm actually wondering if it's a different connection and it's not necessarily the one that you were trying to manifest back. Or it comes back changed and transformed, but in a different way. So it almost feels like a new person for some of you. Two of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, you don't see your own power. That's what I was getting from this. It's like you were showing up like dynamite, like a dynamo, or that, maybe that's not a good word. Queen of Wands energy, though, like this fire energy. You are a light source to other people. You illuminate things. You tell it. You point out the elephant in the room. It's like, hello, the emperor has no clothes. But the way you do it, it's done with tact. It's done with diplomacy. It's done with compassion. And ultimately, it's done with the goal of, like, we need to work through this and heal. So ultimately, we have to accept the hard truths in life. And what's interesting is that in itself is something that you are having trouble doing for yourself, but you're able to do it for other people. So I also think that's what these connections are. You are blessed with many friendships right now, or maybe it's one close friend, maybe it's one really good ally, but there are people around you who are able to offer you some valuable perspective. And I'm hearing, don't shoot the messenger, if you could only listen, because you're so skilled at giving and giving the information, being the mentor, being the preacher, being the whatever. There's people around you who they're not even trying to tell you what to do. It's just it's sage wisdom, it's sound advice. And so I'm hoping you can kind of go more into the sponge mode of maybe absorbing a little bit and implementing it, implicating it. I think it's implementing it into your own life. Everybody needs someone. Isn't that a song? Everybody needs somebody sometimes. Yeah, you're in a chapter where you are getting your power back, you're getting your strength back. There may have been a blow to your ego in some capacity, and so again, there's a need to just process things and release what isn't serving you. King of Swords. Yeah, an important conversation maybe with a fire sign. Again, that could be a friend as well. Someone is holding space for you. Someone is holding a torch for you. They are your lighthouse. They are your source of inspiration. Yeah, for some of you, it's interesting. I'm wanting to say this may actually be someone who disappointed you in the past, and they're coming back in a changed person. For a lot of you, I'm hearing girlfriends. So some of you, particularly women, who went through a falling out with a best friend who is likely a fire sign or an air sign. So totally different energy than this, I want to be clear. It's almost like you guys were able to mend fences, build a bridge, you were able to break bread again. And this person, it's like they came back into your life for a greater reason than friendship, is because they are being like this it's almost like heaven sent, like guardian angel to help you through a very difficult time. And there's an interesting lesson for both of you. It has a lot to do with pride. It has a lot to do with acceptance. It has a lot to do with forgiveness. But yeah, there's a fire air sign friendship in your life that is incredible. So I'm wanting to say welcome this person back with open arms, but again, it might be more complicated than that. You may have some stuff to work through with them, but when you do, really good things come from it. All right, let's do a healing oracle card for Taurus. Ooh, that came right out. Unleash your creativity. All right, 31, that's a 4. That makes me think of the Emperor, some divine masculine energy maybe, an Aries perhaps. 31. And maybe this is going to be cathartic creativity to help you grieve if you're having trouble accessing the emotions in a way that doesn't just feel like constant crying or depression. There might be a way to access those feelings in a more, very Taurian Venus creative type of way. All right, unleash your creativity. Your creative talents and abilities are your most powerful assets. Allow your imagination to roam without limits and access new ideas without judging them. It's time for you to be innovative and birth unique creations. If you are feeling stuck, get up and move, try new things, meet new people, read books, paint, etc. Concentrate on the area of life where you need to be creative. Are you a great singer who needs to share your talents with others? Do you have an affinity for gardening? Can you tell powerful stories? Are you technically minded? Can you whip up amazing meals? What is your special flavor of creativity? Whatever it is, give yourself permission and time to be inventive. Or innovative, inventive. I think it's inventive, but anyway. The more creative you allow yourself to be, the more fulfilled you are going to feel. All right, and one of these for Taurus. All right, change one thing today. Start small. And align your intentions with your actions. Always good advice. All right, last but not least, let's do some zodiac signs that want to come out in this reading. Zodiac signs that want to come out in this reading. I mean, you have a ton of zodiac signs here. You do have 2 kings. You do have 2 knights. I'm just saying, you may have multiple options in terms of suitors. All right, so you have Aquarius, you have a fellow Taurus, you have Aries, and you have Gemini. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.